welcome back to the both of you, Marnie and Bob. Thank you for coming back. I just want to say that mediation is a great option, and I'm very happy that you both decided to come back to this next phase. Now, I do want to go over some of the expectations just to reiterate them. It is voluntary, so if you do want to leave, please feel free to leave at any time. Just let me know first. And if we do need to break or we do need to caucus, that is fine as well. The bathroom's right down the hall, so we can do that. Now, I want to discuss what happened in our last mediation because it's been a little while. At the end of it, we decided the problem was not knowing who will pay this $5,000 loan, correct?
Right. That's right.
Okay. Now, Marnie, I remember you saying that you're not financially stable at all to pay this loan, to pay the whole thing or any of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I also remember you saying that you feel like you've paid enough.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
I've really done a lot to support the kids with what I could month to month. And again, I'm on a fixed income. So, yes, I've done a lot for them. I feel like over the years while they've been in school and since they've graduated.
Okay, great. Yes. And I remember that from last time that you did, that you feel like you've contributed your part.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. And Bob, I remember from last time you feel like you've paid enough of this. Does anything else come up?
No. I mean, I said in our divorce that I would help pay for college for Joe, but I'm getting to the point that my financial situation is changing, and I'm getting tired of paying for all of it, and I would like to not.
Okay. So it seems like you want some help with this
Yes.
with this loan, and you don't want the burden of it anymore.
Mhm.
All right. Now we will move into our brainstorming phase of mediation, where together we'll come up with some ideas that will reconcile both of our interests. And I would like to hear some of your interests in just a moment. But from this phase, I want us to develop a list of like multiple possibilities for resolving this conflict. And I would please like to say that we will not judge anyone's options or suggestions. And who would like to begin with their interests and why what is most important for you to get out of this?
Well, I don't mind starting if that's okay.
That's fine.
For me, it is essentially a financial issue. I know that Bob has had some changes in his financial situation. I don't necessarily know what they are, but I understand that because that's really the same boat that I'm in. I don't have a lot of income month to month, so I know he's saying there's only $5,000 left. Like, why we just need to get it paid off now. But for me, a lump sum like that is just impossible. I don't really have any savings. I rely on my disability income. So I have been giving the kids money month to month, and it's just really exhausted me financially. I haven't had the opportunity to do a lot of saving. So for me, protecting my own finances and making sure that if we have an agreement, it's one that would be financially feasible for me, Bob, and Joe, that's probably my most important. And then I guess my secondary concern, which is really something that's more important to me emotionally, is making sure that my kid is taken care of. It's a fairness issue in some ways. I feel like we had an agreement. We were going to both pay for different things while the kids were in college, and Bob agreed to pay this part. So the fairness side of me says he needs to step up and take care of our kids. So that's an interest of mine as well. It's just feeling like the fair thing gets done and the agreements get honored.
Okay. So what I hear is that you feel like you cannot afford a lump sum,
Right.
Which is what is being asked, correct?
That's what I've assumed, yeah.
Okay. That's what I've assumed. Is that correct with you? A lump sum, like a whole.
That she can't pay it? I mean, I don't know her financial situation.
Okay. All right. We'll discuss. So yes. So that's not affordable for you at all. That's off the table. And you are concerned with Joe, and you want to make sure that he's taken care of. Okay. All right. And what are some interests, or like what is important?
I guess what's important to me is that I don't have to pay for all of it. we can figure something out. I would consider splitting it, 2,500 a piece. I think I wasn't prepared for Joe to be in school for as long as he was, and to still be paying for the loan 2 years after he's already graduated. So I just wasn't expecting that when I said I would pay for college.
Now I do have a question for either of you. Whose name is the loan in?
Well, we both put our names on the loan just to get a better interest rate. But the agreement from the divorce 15 years ago was always that Bob would take care of college. I put my name on it under the assumption that I wouldn't be financially liable, given that we had previously agreed to other terms. So in my opinion, Bob's asking to renegotiate those terms, and I would be more interested in options that didn't include me having to pay the money.
Right.
So I don't know if there's something in there that we could figure out alternatively to help Bob out. I'm not opposed to it, but again, like I don't want Joe to be on the hook to owe $5,000, by next week, because I know he doesn't have that kind of money. I don't. So I really think we need to talk about options.
Right, and we will get there. I just wanted to know whose name it was under, just in that case.
I'm
'Cause
sorry.
if-
I'm sorry.
Worst case, it's okay. Worst case scenario, if we didn't find an agreement between the two of you, there may be some repercussions, legal repercussions. I cannot get into
True.
that, but Bob could take you to court.
And I don't want to default on the loan. I know that would be bad for both of our credits since we're
Yes.
both on the loan. So, yeah, I guess if the option was that Bob stopped paying it, I'd have to come up with we'd have to do something.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
I see that it's bigger than just the previous agreement now that things have changed.
Okay. And question: how much a month is the loan? Do you have an idea?
$250 a month.
$250. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna segue into facilitating negotiation, which is where we'll come up with some options about what we think would be best, what we could do. You already suggested splitting.
Yeah.
25 and 25. Now, what do you think about that?
Well, for me, a lump sum is still impossible. So I don't know what the payment plan would be. I mean, I only get $750 a month in disability. So for me, even dedicating $250 a month would be a huge portion of my monthly income. I more or less just help the kids pay the bills here and there, help them where I can, and it gives me the flexibility. So being on some sort of fixed schedule for loan repayment is really scary to me because I have so little definite income. And I mean, I can't get a job because I got hurt. So that's why I'm on disability in the first place. So it's not that I don't want to contribute, but this is where I find myself. So that's kind of where I'm at as far as that option. It's just not really very doable for me.
I understand. You're on a fixed income. You earn $750 a month. That would take away a lot. So I do understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And you also give the kids some money.
I do. I help them out. Yeah. I've always done that as long as they've been in college, moved out of my house. So that has been something that's important for me because I feel like I'm helping them as much as I possibly can.
Right. Now, question for you, Bob. Do you have any suggestions? Any other? I know you said splitting the money.
I mean, we could lower the cost of the loan, but then we would just have to consider we're going to be paying it off for longer because then, depending how much the payments would be, and how much interest would be on that. But I'm willing to, so that Marnie can help me pay off the loan. I'm willing to consider lowering the payment.
Okay.
Well, and just to throw this out there, Joe and I have been doing a lot of talking recently about the fact that he's getting older now. He did take an extra year to finish college, and that was something that was his decision ultimately. I know that we both told him that he needed to finish, but he took that extra time. So he has recently gotten his first job, and he's starting to make a more steady income.
Okay.
And I feel like it wouldn't be completely out of the realm of possibility to look at this as maybe a way for Joe to start getting more responsibility and learning about finances and building his own credit would be to also, have him start making payments on the loan.
What do you think about that?
I think that would be great. Are you thinking he would pay all of it, or he would pay your half?
Well, I mean, I think, yeah, $250 a month would still be a lot for him, and he certainly doesn't have any money saved up. You know, we talk a lot about it. He has enough to get by with maybe a little extra, and we've been talking about, you know, helping him build some savings. But, you know, I've been helping him out for such a long time now at this point, and part of me feels like maybe it's time for him to learn a little bit of responsibility and kind of become a little bit more financially independent.
Okay. All right. So it looks like we have some options. It seems like splitting the cost may be too hard for you because that's a lot of money. 2,500 to put up front just seems like too much of a burden for you. As well as splitting, you know, $250 a month. Also, deferring it would increase the payment. So I see some cons with those options. Now, having Joe help pay it, that could be an option. It seems like you both seem to agree on that. And you know, we will be able to next week when we meet come up with a solution, a full solution. We'll write it up and we'll be able to write an agreement. And that's when we can discuss final agreement.
Okay.
And we'll just keep thinking about these options during over the next week. Keep thinking about your financial stability because that's important. You know, we both want to be very financially stable and not have to be in debt because of this loan. So just keep thinking of your options over the next week, and we'll come back next week and nail it down.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, that's
thanks.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.